This is what's pissing me off today. I'm Bob Pritchard. Well, as you may have heard last week, the courts in the States have overturned Donald Trump's tariffs. They're saying that these are completely illegal, but they haven't stopped them. They're still in place out there, and I guess that means that Trump is only a kind of dictator down there, not a full-fledged dictator, because so far they haven't been able to get rid of the Supreme Court in the States, and until they do that, I guess he still has somebody to kowtow to. However, as it turns out, a lot of the people sitting on the Supreme Court have been appointed by Trump in his brief term since he took over as the next president in January of this year. Now, the question that comes out of this, if the Americans are aware of the fact that these are completely illegal tariffs, and they're still in place anyway, why are they going ahead and doing this? Have they no concept that a tariff is nothing more than a tax on their own people? So, for example, if we were to ship, let's say, steel into the States and they hit us with a 50% tariff, the people who pay the 50% tariff turn out to be the Americans themselves. Whoops, didn't think that went through too far, did we? Now, it gets more interesting when you start to think that the Canadian steel industry is probably mostly owned by the Americans anyway. So really, what's it got to do with the tariffs in the first place? If America controls the Canadian steel industry and they're putting tariffs on it, they're taxing themselves or, just trying to abuse their own financial well-being. Now, this doesn't seem to really have a major impact on them, but let's consider the possibility that we're heading into a recession. A lot of economists in this country say that that's exactly where we're heading to. I know people in the construction trades who say they haven't seen a new job come in since the beginning of the year. That's not a good sign for things coming down the road. So when we get right down to the bottom line in all of this, we now have to start to consider how it is we're going to recover from Trump's tariffs, not us directly, but us indirectly. The entire world is in chaos right now economically because, well, nobody really knows what's going on, least of all the fearless leaders south of the border. I was going to throw in something else in there, but that would just make it all the more interesting because most Canadians just can't stand Donald Trump anymore. But anyway, the bottom line on it is we've got some rough roads ahead of us, not because we've done anything wrong, but simply because they've got a dipstick running the United States, and that's what's pissing me off today. I'm Bob Pritchard.